We made it. It is day 44, actually, in that BS podcast, Learning How to Flow in Midlife 55-Day series. Today's throne worthy episode is Midlife Ain't a Crisis, It's a Crown. We are going to dismantle the tired narrative that midlife is a crisis. Instead, we're going to crown it as a season of clarity, courage, and calling. We're reframing midlife as a sacred rite of passage, not the end of relevance, but the beginning of reign. Yes, this one's for every woman ready to wear her wisdom with honor. The Learning How to Flow in Midlife 55-Day series and 55-Day giveaway is an unapologetic series and a midlife movement for women ready to break cycles, rewrite beliefs, and boldly shift into what's next. Using the F.L.O.W, F.L.O.W framework, face the unbelief, let go of the lie, own your story, and win at the next chapter. Every day, I'm delivering daily truths, storytelling, and soul work that challenge you to confront what's kept you small and reclaim the life that fits you now. Each episode is a bite sized breakthrough to help you rise, heal, and disrupt your belief system one day at a time. And what's even better is that it's leading up to my 55th birthday. Somebody cue the confetti. Yes, I am super excited to be giving away my signature course, which is Your Midlife, Your Way, a journey to an unapologetically authentic self. And lesson 44 of that course is finding the courage to express your feelings. Finding the courage to express your feelings. And this is 100% free. Just use this QR code and go and download that video lesson. I encourage you to do so. I promise you, it is life changing. The pieces, the lessons individually are impactful, and when you combine them layer upon layer, even more so. So please go and download lesson 44, Finding Courage to Express Your Feelings. Now, let's jump into today's topic, which is midlife ain't a crisis, it's a crown. Hey, how are you? So excited to see you and thank you for joining me. If you wouldn't mind, before I forget, because sometimes I forget, be certain to like this video, like the channel altogether. Share this with a woman that you know who is in midlife and maybe looking at it as a crisis and not as a crown. And be certain to subscribe to my channel at the BS Boss and click that little bell. So that way, anytime I go live or upload a video, you will be notified. You will be the first to get it hot off the press. Okay. Thank you so much for that. So here we go. Midlife ain't, yes, I said ain't a crisis, it's a crown. So let's jump right into the flow framework. Okay, F, face the unbelief. Bullet number one, confronting the belief that midlife means decline. It means nothing of the sort. Yes, our bodies are changing. Yes, our minds are changing. Yes, our environment and how we engage in our environment is changing, but it doesn't have to mean decline or deficit. It doesn't. Bullet number two, acknowledging the fear of being forgotten, invisible, or too late. We are not forgotten. We're talking to each other right now, so of course we're not invisible, and we're definitely not too late. We're right on time. Everything is happening. Everything is as it should be. All is well. We're not too late. We're in the right moment in time. Bullet number 3, and face the unbelief, facing the lie that your best years are behind you. Our best years are not behind us. Now, full disclosure, is it possible that we have more years behind us than we do ahead of us? Yes, that is a fact. However, what we have behind us are lessons learned, experiences, right? So that doesn't mean our best years are behind us. Actually, our best years are in front of us because we have some lessons learned. We have wisdom and knowledge and experience that we didn't have before. So we have some tools at our disposal at this time in order to make our latter days our best days yet, right? Let's jump into L, let go of the lie. Bullet number 1, releasing the myth that midlife is a downward spiral. It is not. It doesn't have to be. It most certainly can be. Okay, that's the truth of the matter. It certainly can be, but it doesn't have to be a downward spiral. As a matter of fact, I look at midlife as a ladder. We're closer to the point of actualizing, materializing, manifesting the life that we wanted for ourselves as children, little girls, or teenagers, or college students. Right, the thing that we thought that we wanted and we saw our future. This is us walking into that manifestation. So it is not a downward spiral, actually. Bullet number 2, letting go of shame about aging, body changes, or life pivots. One thing is for certain, if you keep on living, there are going to be some challenges, and need necessitates life in general is going to necessitate some pivots, right? And making some adjustments and making some changes. Our bodies change. That's what happens over time, right? Just like a car that we keep over time, the body of it may not change, and I guess it does. It may rust, it may have some dents and dings in it that it didn't have when we first purchased it, right? We've probably replaced the tires, we've done oil changes and maintenance and things like that. That is just a part of normal wear and tear, right? Our bodies have been on this planet dealing with the elements, dealing with life circumstances for half a century. So it's only to be expected that our bodies are changing, but there is no shame in it, right? We're showing these are our, I wouldn't say battle wounds, but these are examples. Our body changes are an example of us being here for a season, right? In some time. Bullet number 3, dismantling society's obsession with youth over wisdom. Let that go. There is a cliche I used to hear growing up when I would hear older people saying that youth is wasted on the young. Oh, now I understand. Youth and trying to look young has nothing to do with wisdom. Our experience has granted us wisdom, regardless of what society says and how society would want to put us aside and push us off in a corner. No, we need our voices to be raised high. We need to be planting seeds and sharing our wisdom so that those coming behind us can have the benefit of that wisdom in their youth, right? Oh, own your story. Bullet number 1, claiming midlife as your moment of mastery. I love that. This is our moment of mastery. We've made it this far. There were times that I didn't know if I was going to make it or how I was going to make it, or quite honestly, or what I was going to look like when I did make it. But here we are. This is our moment of mastery. Bullet number 2, embracing the strength, softness, and sovereignty of this season. Strength, softness, and sovereignty of this season. This season has its own fruit. And when I say that, I look at it like we're in the summertime here in the United States. I'm on the East Coast. And there are certain fruits that are best, it's ripest. Some are only available during their peak season, right? But I think about apples. Now, apples are available all year long. However, only certain types are in season at different times of the year, even though they're all available, right? But the ones that are at their peak, their best firmness and sweetness, right, is in their particular season. I think about peaches as well. When I was driving up from Florida here to the DC area, I stopped in South Carolina and bought some peaches. I know you're thinking, no, Lisa, you stop in Georgia for peaches. But little known fact is that South Carolina is the largest state and the first state who was the mass producer of peaches. So actually, South Carolina is where the peaches began. So I stopped in South Carolina to pick up some peaches that were amazing. I'm talking about they were huge, like probably larger than a baseball. And when I bit into them, all the juices just dripped down my chin and onto my sundress. I loved every sticky moment of it. But that's what fruit tastes like when it's in its peak season. We are there. Ooh, you see how I crosswalk that, right? We are there. So we have to embrace our strength, our softness, and the sovereignty of the season. We are there. Bullet number 3, naming how far you come and how aligned you're becoming. Because we are realizing and embracing the season that we're in, we can look back and recognize how far we've come. I have a thing for butterflies because I love the metamorphosis process. Because to look at the larvae, you have no idea the beautiful butterfly that larvae is going to become, the colors and the pattern on the wings. Even when the larvae turns into a cocoons itself and then it comes out of its cocoon as a caterpillar, still you don't know the array of colors that that butterfly, that caterpillar is going to turn into when it turns into a butterfly. And then when the transformation happens and you see the beautiful colors, all of that process and all of those stages were so well worth it for the vibrancy of the colors. The same is with us being in alignment and naming how far we've come in our larvae stage and our metamorphosis process to be in this space of becoming the beautiful butterfly of this season of our journey. And W, when at our next chapter, bullet number 1, wearing our crown of clarity unapologetically. Thinking about it and embracing the season that we're in, you see how that feels in your body, how relaxed you are sitting in that knowledge and that acknowledgement. We can wear our crown of this season unapologetically, and we can show up in spaces with our head held high and our shoulders squared but relaxed in a peaceful state, walking into spaces like we own them. Even though we don't own the spaces, we own our agency. We own who we are and the essence of who we are, so we can show up in spaces unapologetically and fully empowered. Bullet number 2, living from grounded power, not performance. Grounded power and not performance. Again, showing up in spaces because we know who we are. We know what we possess. We are rooted and grounded in that. So it's not about us showing up and putting on a performance. No need. No need. No need. We know who we are. And we are in possession of our agency and who we are. Bullet number 3, leading our lives from experience, not expectation. One thing about experience is that nobody can take that away. Once we've had an experience and we know that we know that we know, nobody can take that away. So we don't have false expectation because we know. Experience says, for example, going to the gas station and giving our money, putting the pump into the gas tank, and if we give them $20, experience says I'm going to get $20 worth of gas, right? So there's no need for us to stand there with an expectation because our experience says we give $20 to the gas attendant, we're going to get $20 worth of gas. Period. An expectation is, ooh, when you go and you say fill it up and you don't know when it's going to stop and they just have a hold on the card. So you don't know where it's going to land. But we're leading our life from experience. We know what we put in and what we've invested, and we're looking for the return on that investment. So as you sit in that, our journal entry for today, the 2 thought-provoking writing prompt questions that I would like for you to put in the comments if you're watching this on TikTok or on Facebook or on my YouTube channel. I'm loving the comments. Ooh, this is so good. Writing prompt number 1, or thought-provoking question number 1 to answer is, what crown have you earned in midlife? Earned. Mm-hmm. You've earned by no mistake. Question number 2, thought-provoking question number 2 to consider is, where have you mistaken a transition for a crisis? Where have you mistaken a transition for a crisis? Sit with that and put your comments in and share with us where you may have mistaken a transition for a crisis. I know initially I looked at it. It was probably in crisis mode for those who talk to me, transitioning from full time employment, from the 9 to 5 to not 9 to 5 after 36 years. Oh, it felt like a crisis, a trauma, right? But having to recognize that it was a transition, it was time, and it was a transition, a necessary transition for me. And I can write more, and I will write more about that in my journal. Then be certain to share this episode with a queen in your circle who needs to be reminded she's still rising. And I look forward to seeing you next episode. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at The BS Boss. I so appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you for episode 45. Ooh, we're getting close. I'm so excited. See you next episode. Bye.